Hi guys, we're still in chapter 4, which is Introduction to Organic Chemistry. Now, we are going to focus on subtopic 4.3, isomerism. So, let's start. So guys, what is isomerism? So, isomerism is the existence of chemical compound that have same molecular formula but different molecular structure. So, I repeat here, same molecular formula but different molecular structure. Okay? So, we have two types of isomerism. The first one, we have structural or constitutional isomerism. The second one, we have stereoisomerism. For structural isomerism, it's due to difference in connectivity. How? Later, I will discuss more about this part. For stereoisomerism, it refers to the same connectivity but different arrangement in space. So guys, after this, we are going to discuss it more about structural isomerism and stereoisomerism. Stay tuned guys! Now, we focus to structural isomerism first. We have three types of structural isomerism. The first one, we have chain isomer. What is chain isomer? Chain isomer due to the difference in carbon skeleton. So after this, I will show you how to write the chain isomer. The second one, we have positional isomer. What is positional isomer? Positional isomer is molecule that have same molecular formula but different position of functional group. Before this, you already learned about functional group. So I want to highlight here, for positional isomer, it must different position of functional group. And the third one, we have functional group isomer. For functional group isomer, molecule that have same molecular formula, see, same molecular formula but different functional group, means from one functional group change to other functional group. So later, I will discuss more about these three types of structural isomerism. Now, we are going to look at chain isomer. Just now, you already know about chain isomer, which is chain isomer must have different in carbon skeleton. So now we look at this example first. Here we have pentane. So later in chapter 5, you will learn how to name the compound. So for pentane, it consists of 5 carbon and 12 hydrogen. See? So this is the structure of pentane. If we draw the structure of pentane, so here I draw it in expanded structure. So how to make it as chain isomer like neopentane? So what we need to do, we need to exchange the position of carbon skeleton. So look here. For example, here in the red circle here, we have CH3 And we need to move the CH3 into the central carbon here. So at this carbon already consists of 4 bonds. What we need to do, we need to move one of the hydrogen to this carbon here. So this CH3 will exchange with this hydrogen atom. Same like this blue circle here. Okay, so this CH3 also will change to here, and this hydrogen will exchange to here. So you will get neopentane. But if you calculate the number of carbon and hydrogen, the number of carbon still same. Look here, the number of carbon still 5 carbon, and the total hydrogen here also 12 hydrogen. So this is isomer. So this pairing we call as chain isomer. Understand, guys? Okay, now I will show you the other example of chain isomer. You can refer to your lecture note. For example, we have hexane. So hexane, the molecular formula is C6H6. So here, I will draw the structural formula of hexane by using condensed structure. So this is the structural formula of hexane. And then, how to draw the chain isomer for this hexane. So this is the simplest method that you can use in drawing the chain isomer. You use the carbon skeleton like this. So we draw the straight chain carbon. So if you look at the structural formula of hexane, we know that all the carbon here is straight chain carbon. And then what we need to do, we just move one of the carbon here become a branching like this. So from 6 straight chain carbon become only 5 carbon here, and then one of the carbon we make it as branch. You can put either at carbon number 2 or carbon number 3. For example, I put it at carbon number 3 like this. So this is chain isomer, but this is not complete yet. What we need to do, we need to draw the hydrogen atom. Don't forget, each carbon atom must consist of 4 bonds. So here we need to draw 3 hydrogen. So complete your structure with the hydrogen atom. So make sure all the hydrogen should be 14 hydrogen. So if you calculate here, all the hydrogen here is 14 hydrogen. Still same, C6H14. So if you condense this structure, it will become like this. So CH3, CH2, CH, and then we have branch here, CH3, CH2, CH3. So this pairing we call as chain isomer. Actually class, if you refer to your lecture note, this hexane will consist of 5 chain isomer. The chain isomer that I draw here is one of that. So you can draw the other 4 chain isomer for hexane. Positional isomer. What is positional isomer, guys? Yes, positional isomer must have different position of functional group. How? Look at this example. We have 1 chloropentane here become 2 chloropentane. So what you can see here, the position of functional group here. This is the functional group. See? We have chlorine here, alkyl halide. So look at the position of chlorine for the first compound. For the first compound, the position of chlorine at carbon number 1. But the second compound, the position of chlorine at carbon number 2. When you exchange the position, you need to take out one of the hydrogen. So this hydrogen will move here and this chlorine will move here. See? So you need to make sure that carbon consists of 4 bonds. So this is positional isomer. Understand, guys? So I'll show you the other example of positional isomer. So I give you alcohol. For example, we have CH2, CH2OH. So this, I write it in condensed structure. So we have one propanol here. So what we need to do, guys? Yes, we need to change the position of functional group. What functional group we have here? Hydroxy. So OH group here. So I will change it, the position at the center. So if you want to change the position, what we need to do? We need to take out one of the hydrogen, change the position here. See? So it will become CH3, CH. One of the hydrogen will move here, CH3. So OH, we write it like this. So now your functional group at position number 2. So we get it 2-propanol. See? Functional group isomer. Functional group isomer refer to the same molecular formula but different functional group. So how, class? Look at the example here. We have butanol, which is the class of compound is ketone. Exchange to butanol, which is the class of compound is aldehyde. Look at the functional group here. Ketone C double bond O C C, while aldehyde C double bond O H. So from one class of compound exchange to the new class of compound. Not all class of compound can make functional group isomer. Only these classes of compound can make the functional group isomer. The first one, we have alcohol can exchange to ether or ether change to alcohol. Aldehyde with ketone or ketone change to aldehyde. Like example here, alkene and cycloalkane, carboxylic acid and ester. So you need to remember the pairs of this class of compound. I will show you the other example of functional group isomer. For example, I show you the alcohol and ether. Ethanol consists of 2 carbon, CH3, CH2OH. So alcohol must change to ether. So how the functional group of ether? The functional group of ether should be COC, like this. Right, class? Okay. Now we write the structure of ether. It must consist of 2 carbon and 6 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. So it should be like this. CH3OCH3. So this what we call as functional group isomer. look at the number of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So the number of carbon, oxygen and hydrogen still same. So this is isomer class. So now I'll show you the other example, alkene and cycloalkane. Alkene and cycloalkane. For example, we have propene. It must consist of 3 carbon class. Okay, 3 carbon. CH3, CH double bond, CH2. So this is propene. So from alkene change to cycloalkane. Cycloalkane consists of ring. So if here we have 3 carbon, cycloalkane also must have 3 carbon. So like this. Cyclo. So you will get it like this, triangle. So at this triangle consists of 1 carbon here, 1 carbon here and 1 carbon here. So we have 3 carbon. No more double bond here because this is cycloalkane, not cycloalkene. So each carbon bond to 2 hydrogen atom because 1 carbon should bonded to 4 bond. So now look at this alkene and cycloalkane. Alkene here, propene, consists of 3 carbon and 6 hydrogen. And cycloalkane here, which is cyclopropane, consists of 6 carbon also, not 6 carbon, 6 hydrogen, 3 carbon. See, class? So the formula still same. Okay, now class, we are going to focus on stereoisomerism. So what is stereoisomerism? Stereoisomerism is the existence of chemical compound which have their atoms connected in same order but differ in arrangement in space. How? So later I will show you. So we have 2 types of stereoisomerism. The first one we have enantiomer. Enantiomer is stereoisomer in which the molecule and its mirror image are non-superimposable. How? I will show you later, class. Occur only with compound whose molecules are chiral. So this is enantiomer. Another one we have distromer. Distromer is stereoisomer in which the molecules are not mirror image and non-superimposable of each other. So distromer divide into 2 parts, which is cis-trans isomer, which is consists of carbon-carbon double bond, alkene, and disubstituted cycloalkane, which is cyclic compound that consists of ring. Now we look at chirality center. Chirality center is sp3 hybridized carbon bonded to 4 different atoms or group of atoms like this. So look here, class. This carbon atom bond to this group of atom NH3 and atom here, 1 atom here which is hydrogen, and R here refer to alkyl group. Alkyl group, for example, like CH3 group, and then bond to COO minus. So this carbon atom we call as chirality center because this carbon is sp3 hybridized carbon. sp3 means consists of 4 electron group or bonded to 4 different atom or group of atom. So see, this carbon bond to 4 different atom or group of atom. So this carbon we call as chirality center. Next, I'll show you the example of chirality center in non-cyclic compound. So look at the first example here. For example, you have this compound. So this compound contain chiral carbon. Where? So here we have 3 carbon. First, second, and third carbon. So between these 3 carbon, which carbon is chirality center? Yes, chirality center should bonded to 4 different atoms or group of atoms. Which carbon? Yes, this carbon, the central carbon. Why? Because this carbon bond to CH3, this group of atom, OH and H, and also COOH. So this carbon we call as chiral carbon. Another example here. So this example, how many chiral carbon here? So look here class. Actually here we have 2 chiral carbon. Why? Try to find class. Okay, so the first chiral carbon here is this carbon. Why? Because this carbon bond to 1 hydrogen here, 1 group of atom here, CH3, 1 group of atom here, OH, and also all these group of atom. So this carbon bond to 4 different group of atoms. So this is the first chiral carbon. Another one class? Yes, this one carbon. Why? So look here. So this carbon bond to this hydrogen and 1 OH group here, and the whole alkyl group here, CH3, CH2, and this group of atom. See? So we have 2 chiral carbon here. So chiral carbon can be more than 1. Next, we look at the example of cyclic compound. Cyclic compound means that compound should contain ring. So look at the first compound. For example here, is it this compound contain chiral carbon? Yes, this compound does not contain chiral carbon. Why? Okay, so I will prove it to you. So look here. Chiral carbon must consist of 4 different group of atom. So how about this carbon? Is it consist of 4 different group of atom? No, because this carbon consists of 3 hydrogen atom. So another carbon that we have this carbon, this carbon, this carbon, this carbon, and this carbon. So look at this carbon first. Is it this carbon consists of 4 different group of atom? No class. Why class? Because this carbon bond to 1 hydrogen, 1 CH3 group, and look here. Okay, for ring, this ring start from this carbon, it symmetry class. So means this side and this side are same. So no chiral carbon here. And for this carbon, 1, 2, 3 and 4 carbon here, this is not chiral carbon because each carbon here bonded to 2 hydrogen atom here. So, no chiral carbon for the first compound. Next, the second example here, we have this compound. Okay, how many chiral carbon that we have here, class? Now we look here. We have this carbon as chiral carbon. Why? So, let's see here. 1 atom. So, this carbon bond to hydrogen, and this carbon also bond to the whole group of atom here. See? We have 2. So, another one. If we break the ring, so look at this side and this side. Is it same, class? Yes, no, because for this side and this side are different. Because for this side consists of chlorine atom, but this side no chlorine atom. So both sides are different. So that is chiral carbon. Okay, next. Yes, we have this one. Why this one is chiral carbon? So this carbon bond to one OH group, one CH3 group, and don't forget, yes, it consists of one hydrogen atom. So we have 3 group of atom here. Another one? Yes, the biggest one here, class. Okay, so means that carbon bond to 4 different atom or group of atom. So now we have 2 chiral carbon here. Any more? Yes, we have another one here. See why this carbon is chiral carbon? Okay, first because this carbon bond to this chlorine, and if you look here, if we break the ring, look, this side and this side, is it same? No. So left side and right side are different. So means this carbon bond to 3 different group of atom. One more? One more is, yes, hydrogen atom. So this carbon is chiral carbon. So this compound we have 3 chiral carbon. How to draw a pair of enantiomer in 3D? Just now, we already know how to predict the chiral carbon. For enantiomer, we just focus on one chiral carbon only. If you have 2 or 3 chiral carbon, that one is out of syllabus. Okay, so remember, enantiomer only consists of one chiral carbon only, like this. So look at this compound, consists of one chiral carbon. We have one hydrogen here bonded to this carbon, this CH3 group, OH group, and this CH2CH3 group. So means this carbon is chiral carbon. So one chiral carbon compound can make enantiomer. So how to draw a pair of enantiomer in 3D? So what we need to do? We need to draw it by using formula called as 3D formula or wedge dash wedge line formula, like this. So we need to draw the mirror image for this compound. Okay, we have 2 compound here. Alright, so if you look at here, this carbon as chiral carbon, we put it at the center, and then we draw the 4 bond. Look, we have line here at the above, here line also, and here we call as wedge line, and here we call as wedge dash line, and then we put all the group of atom here. Anywhere you can put it, okay? So but make sure the position should be in tetrahedral shape. After that, you draw the mirror image of this compound. Okay guys, I want to remind you, you need to be careful when you draw this enantiomer. You can put any group of atom at here, here or here or here, but you need to be careful the connectivity between this group with this carbon atom. For example, like CH3, the bond that bonded to this carbon should bond with this carbon, not with this hydrogen. And also for the OH group here, the bond here should bond to the oxygen, not to the hydrogen. Okay, so and also for this group CH3CH2, so the bond here that bond with this carbon is start from CH2, not CH3. So you need to be careful with this connectivity. This is enantiomer molecule. Enantiomer are chiral molecules that are mirror image of one another. Furthermore, the molecules are non-superimposable on one another. This means that the molecule cannot be placed on top of one another and give the same molecule like this. So this molecule cannot superimpose. Like this also cannot superimpose. So these molecules are mirror image of one another. Okay, now we look at optical activity. What is optical activity? Optical activity is the ability of a chiral compound to rotate the plane polarized light. So we have two types of compound. First, we have compound that optically active, which is referred to the compound that rotate the plane polarized light, means that compound should consist of chiral carbon. Second, optically inactive, compound which does not rotate plane polarized light, means that compound does not contain chiral carbon. So that's the difference between optically active and optically inactive. So this compound can be produced, or we can predict it by using polarimeter. Polarimeter is used to measure the angle of rotation caused by passing polarized light through an optically active substance. So this is polarimeter instrument. So we use this instrument to predict whether the compound is optically active or optically inactive. Optical isomer. So optical isomer must contain chiral carbon here. So look, here we have one chiral carbon here that bond to group of atom here COOH and one hydrogen CH3 and OH. So this is lactic acid. So lactic acid is optically active because it contains chiral carbon. How to draw the optical isomer? We draw the optical isomer like we draw the enantiomer. We need to draw the mirror image by using 3D dimensional structure like this. So this is enantiomer of lactic acid. We draw it by using wedge dash wedge line formula. So for this structure, enantiomer of lactic acid, we have two structures. First, we have laboratory structure, which is the counterclockwise rotation, while dextrotary structure, which is clockwise rotation. So this is what we call as the mirror image of lactic acid, or normally we call as enantiomer. Okay class, finish about enantiomer. So now we are going to look at distromer. We are going to look at the cis-strand isomer that contain carbon-carbon double bond and cycloalkane. Okay guys, now we are going to look at the example of distromer, which is cis-strand isomer. How to identify cis-strand isomer? Cis-strand isomer consists of two criteria. The first one is cis-strand isomer consists of restricted rotation of carbon-carbon bonds due to carbon-carbon double bond in alkene, carbon-carbon single bond in cyclic compound. How? Later I will explain to you. Okay, the second one is two different atoms or group of atoms attached to each of carbon atoms which form double bond or cyclic structure. Okay, now we look at the example here. So the first example show you this compound consists of carbon-carbon double bond. So at this carbon-carbon double bond, this carbon and this carbon consists of restricted rotation. Means this carbon and this carbon cannot rotate anymore. Alright? And at the same time, at this carbon consists of two different atoms. See? This carbon bond to this bromine atom and this hydrogen atom. So this is criteria number 2. And also this carbon should bond to two different atoms. See, this carbon bond to chlorine atom and hydrogen atom. So this compound already fulfill the criteria of cis-strand isomer. So another one, we have this compound. So this is cyclic structure. Why cyclic? Because this structure consists of ring. Okay, so look at this compound. So at this compound, we have 6 carbon. Okay, but we need to focus at these 2 carbon only. Why? Because this carbon consists of branch. Okay, so look at this carbon. This carbon has restricted rotation. Both carbon here have restricted rotation. No more rotation between these 2 carbon. Okay, the second criteria for this carbon bonded to 2 different group of atom. See, this carbon bond to 1 hydrogen and 1 bromine atom. And also this carbon bond to 1 hydrogen and 1 chlorine atom. So this compound also fulfill the criteria of cis-strand isomer. So both compound here can make the cis-strand isomer. Now we are going to learn how to draw the cis-strand isomerism. So we look at the cis-strand isomerism on carbon-carbon double bond first. For example, we have this compound which is 2-butene. So look at 2-butene. 2-butene consists of carbon-carbon double bond here. Okay, so this is condensed structure. And now I will expand this structure, okay, to show to you this compound fulfill the criteria of cis-trans isomer. So look here. So this is the carbon-carbon double bond, and then this carbon consists of one hydrogen and bond to this group of atom. And the second carbon also bond to hydrogen and CH3. So this compound already fulfill the two criteria of cis-trans isomer. Okay, so how to draw the cis and trans isomer? Okay, so this is how you draw. So the first structure here we call as trans isomer. Why trans isomer? Because the position of atom that bond with this carbon is opposite side. So this we call as trans isomer. The four atom here in opposite side. And for the cis isomer, it should draw like this. Okay, so what you can see here, the position of the four group of atom at the same side. So for example, like the hydrogen atom at the below side and the CH3 at the upper side. Okay, so the group of atom at the same side. So remember, for the trans isomer, it must opposite side, but the cis isomer, it must be at the same side. Next, we are going to look at the cis-trans isomerism on ring. So here we have the example. Okay, so this we call as cis isomer. Why class? Yes, because the position, look at here. So between these two carbon, okay, so the position of hydrogen here, C. And the position of CH3 here also C. So this is cis isomer. How about trans isomer? Yes, we just exchange the position, become the opposite side like this. So this we call as trans isomer. Understand class? Okay, so finish about cis-trans isomer. Thank you guys. That's all for chapter 4.3. Don't forget to answer the formative assessment about this chapter to ensure your attendance for lecture. Bye guys!